Welcome to Psych 270 Introduction to Clinical Psychology. This is a quick introductory video. I'll introduce myself and mention a little bit about my background, and as well I'll kind of highlight some of the most important things that you should know about this course. Please do still read the syllabus. The syllabus has a lot more detail, but I'll go over sort of the most important points to get you started. My name is Mallory Klaunig. I go by Dr. Klaunig for the purposes of this course. You can also call me Dr. Mallory if you prefer. That's what my clients often call me. I'm a clinical psychologist. I recently got my PhD from University of Hawaii at Manoa. I got my master's in clinical psych there as well. I had lived in Germany previous to completing my PhD in Hawaii and did a Master's of Science program in neurocognitive psychology there. And then I have a bachelor's in psychology and philosophy from Indiana University. Currently, I am in Baltimore, Maryland, working as a clinical and research postdoctoral associate at the University of Maryland. And if you're not familiar with the idea of a postdoc, it's something we can talk a bit more about. If anyone's interested in pursuing a PhD, it's kind of the job that you get after the PhD before a faculty position. And I work right now in a lab in a clinical setting with young people who are at risk for psychosis. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of my clinical focuses and experiences as well as research focus and experience. And in addition to just wanting to introduce myself, I want to sort of give a sense of the lens through which I see clinical psychology. So everyone brings their own experiences and training and background into whatever they're teaching. And if you had someone who specialized in eating disorders, this might be a different class. So I sort of want to admit that this is the lens through which I see clinical psychology, so that you as the student sort of understands the perspective that I'm coming from, and that there may be different perspectives. So my clinical focus has mostly been in serious mental illness. This would include schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, severe depression, severe anxiety, any major mental illness that significantly impairs somebody's ability to function. Within this, psychosis has been a particular focus of mine clinically. And I also tend to work with people in the early stages of mental illness, so adolescents and young adults in particular who are either at risk or have recently developed a major mental illness. So my clinical experience has taken place again with adult and late adolescent populations, a little bit with kids, but not a ton with the younger kids. Outpatient psychiatry, I've done inpatient forensic, like Hawaii State Hospital. One of my focuses has been early psychosis specialty care, so in particular working with people who are either at risk for developing psychosis or have recently developed a psychotic disorder. And then also clinical assessment, so like psychodiagnostic assessment and neuropsychological assessment. My research focus has been somewhat similar, so my research has typically been in biological and cognitive foundations of schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, early interventions in mental illness, especially psychosis, and then I have sort of a parallel track of research focus and interest, which is global mental health systems. So I'm really interested in and have some projects going on about mental health in low resource settings. What does it look like for someone to have mental illness in a low resource setting? What are the best systems of care, and what are interventions that could work in settings where there may not be a lot of trained mental health personnel, may not be a lot of money, there may not be a lot of infrastructure. So my dissertation, for example, took place in South Africa, and I'm interested generally in like sub-Saharan African regions. And I think this translates more broadly too to cultural variations in how people view mental illness. I think that's very interesting, and I hope that's a conversation that other people are interested in, because I certainly hope to incorporate those types of questions into this course. Please contact me with any questions or issues. It's my job to answer your questions. I will say one caveat: please, of course, do carefully read the syllabus first to make sure the answer is not in the syllabus, but email me, no problem. We can do office hours since I am in Baltimore, and most of you are not. I assume none of you are. We can do like a Google Hangout video chat, or even the text, like the chat option within your university Google site is fine. As well, I'm available by phone. And I will respond to your emails within 48 hours in the regular work week. So that doesn't count weekends. I can't guarantee that I'll respond on weekends, or if there are holidays, I may not respond on a holiday, but I'll always try to respond as quickly as possible to your emails, including the practice of clinical psychology, research, current issues, controversies. Another thing I would like this course to do is support you in the development and attainment of your goals, both career and educational. Not everyone wants to be a clinical psychologist that takes this course. Some people take the course to better understand clinical psychology and figure out if that's a way they might want to go. Other people want to be psychiatrists or social workers, even like nurses. Once I understand your goals and understand why the particular students that are in this class are taking this class, I hope to include content that can be helpful to each of you individually. And if there's something in particular you want me to cover, I will do my best within reason to try to cover that, or at least find resources for you outside of the course content. One thing this course can't do is qualify you to diagnose or treat mental illness. This can't be done at an undergraduate level. It requires some graduate training. But what I hope we can do is, for anyone who is interested in pursuing a career that involves treating and diagnosing mental illness, I think this course can give you like a good theoretical groundwork for the considerations in kind of that process of doing the actual practice. Okay, so the course structure, definitely check out the syllabus in the syllabus tab on our Laulima page. So everything is going to be on the Laulima page. Homework 1 will cover some syllabus content, so you probably want to read the syllabus before you do homework 1. And the syllabus is subject to change. But any change will always be in your favor. So I might change some of the content, some of the weekly topics. I might change those depending on kind of feedback from you guys in the forums on what you're interested in. I won't ever like add extra stuff. I might take away some homeworks once in a while. I might change the scope of the like broader course project that you'll be working on, but I won't ever make it more work for you. Every week you can go to the modules tab to find weekly readings, videos, and assignments. So if you go to that modules tab, there's like a week 1 section, and then it says readings, videos, assignments, and if you click on each one of those, you'll find links or instructions of where to find the content of for each week. Weekly reading assignments will be variable depending on the week. A lot of times it'll be web pages, or I'll link you to or upload PDFs that I'd like you to read. Weekly videos will also be different week to week. Sometimes I'll make a video, usually kind of like this, like on a PowerPoint. Sometimes there's a YouTube video or a video from somewhere else on the internet that I want you to look at. Every week you will have a homework assignment and a forum. Each will be 10 points each. For the weekly homework, it will usually be a check that you've understood the readings and or the video. that was available. It's always going to be due, both the form and the homework will be due Sunday at 11 p.m. and each will be a 5-point penalty for each day late. So you can turn it in 1 day late for half off, but 2 days late will be a score of 0. If you have any issues, if you're having medical issues or anything you can foresee, I am very fast and loose with the extensions. So if you contact me a few days before and ask for an extension, like if you know, even if you know it's going to be a really heavy weekend for you, maybe you have to work that weekend and you have a lot of other assignments, as long as you tell me a few days before, I will almost always grant you an extension. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and you need a little extra time, contact me as long as it's a few days before. And then we're going to have a course project, and I have a couple ideas for what this course project might look like, but I want some more information from you guys about your interests before I really outline what the project's going to look like. We'll work on it throughout the semester, so some of the homeworks might be sort of like coming up with an outline or a plan for this course project. So more on that later.